Good evening and welcome to Guiseley AFC Radio. We're slightly later on than planned, thanks to a couple of last-minute technical problems and late traffic to get across here to Bowerfold for tonight's game between Stalybridge Celtic and Guiseley. Guiseley have got underway already. The match 3 minutes old. As yet, we haven't had a goal, but Guiseley have had a couple of corners and have pressed this Stalybridge backline quite well and have come out of the traps well. I'm Colin Robertson. Beside me is Nick Keith for this evening's game. We'll get the teams to you shortly. Just at the moment, though, Stalybridge on the ball with Matty Mainwaring. He's just given it to Ben McKenna and coming over the halfway line. Guiseley now just getting back into shape. Good work again from Ben Parker. Claims he was fouled and recovers the ball anyway and gives it to Wayne Brooksby, who cuts in field. Guiseley coming forward in their all-yellow strip, shooting from left to right as we're watching it here in the main stand at Bowerfold. Always a great goal, a great stadium to come to. Always enjoy our trips here. Just to give you that team news as the ball goes back to Stephen Drench, and he just rounds the oncoming forward with the ball at his feet and sends it forward. It's a very bright start to this game. We can't get to the teams just yet because Rothery's come forward and put the ball into the pathway of Adam Boyes. He couldn't get it under control on this occasion. And goalkeeper Lewis King comes out. So for Stalybridge, Lewis King, Oliver Crowley, Mike Williams, Matty Hughes, Matt Regan, who's the captain, Kelvin Blur, Ben McKenna, Matty Mainwaring, Anthony Malburn, former Lion Paul Ennis and Liam Dickinson. On the bench for them, James Cadman, Oliver Martin, Nathan Heath, Sam Staunton Turner and Aidan Chippendale. For Guiseley, Stephen Drench, Ryan Tulson, Ben Parker, Danny Lowe, Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Adam Boyes, Nicky Boschel and Gavin Rothery. So a couple of changes in there for us to pontificate. Andy Holdsworth on the bench, Steve Dickinson, Danny Forrest, Kyle Harrison and Ollie Johnson also joining him. So Guiseley in the possession of the ball here with Nicky Boschel on the left flank, cuts in field, gives it to Gavin Rothery. And then the Lions come away with it with Jake Lawler still in possession in their own half, and chance maybe just to bring in Nick Keith and just get your thoughts on this early start. Not that you've had much of a chance to see it given your head's been in the computer trying to make it work. Yeah, well, it does appear to be working now, and the good news is it's not too much of notice actually happened on the pitch so far, and so Guiseley fans wanting to know the shape looks 4-2-3-1, and that means Nicky Boschel will be playing on the left today with Gavin Rothery playing behind Adam Boyes in that number 10 position. Flick on here from Dickinson, bit of a slip there from Tulson, returning to the side after missing out on Saturday's draw at home to Tamworth. A loose ball from Jake Lawler, he's given it straight to Ennis. Ennis has a run, he's bundled over. Referee waves away the appeals. Ennis gets straight back up and attempts to tackle Boschel. Danny Boschel, that is. Both Boschels on the field this evening. Wayne Brooksby picks it up inside his own half. Sends it to Danny Lowe. And then it's all the way back to Stephen Drench. A couple of changes there, Nick, to just pontificate. Obviously Ryan Tilson back in the side. Andy Holdsworth drops back to the bench, and it's a start for Nicky Boschel. Yeah, well, Ryan Tulson obviously is the man in possession of the first choice right back role at the moment, and to be fair, he's played well since he's come into the side. And Nicky Boschel, with the injury to Josh Wilson and the uncertainty over his loan status, obviously Nicky Boschel is ahead of Ollie Johnson and Danny Forrest at the moment in Mark Bauer's thoughts for a second striker or for an extra person for that line behind the lone striker, and he can do both. He can play on the left or he can play as a 2 and a 4-4-2. Does leave Danny Forrest, who obviously came on. He was the first backup option on Saturday. Does obviously leave him still on the bench. So there's options for later in the game as well. Ball's being returned all the way back to Lewis King in the Stalybridge goal. Launches it forward, headed on by Danny Ellis. Taken down again by the home side, who move it well up to Liam Dickinson. Dickinson cuts infield, gives it to Ennis. Ennis sends it well into the area, picked up by Malburn. Malburn tries to curl a shot at goal, just over the angle of the upright and the crossbar, and behind for a goal kick. But a bright move there from the home side.
It was, and I confess I'd forgotten about Liam Dickinson. He's an absolute giant of a striker at this level, isn't he? And he's towering over Danny Lowe there. He's taller than Danny Ellis as well, to be fair. So he's going to cause all sorts of problems with his height, just his physical presence, if nothing else. But he is quite mobile actually for a tall striker.
Ball on the halfway line, headed on by Danny Lowe. Jake Lawler tussling and winning a free kick just inside the Stalybridge half. Particularly convincing free kick, but Guiseley have it anyway. Wayne Brooksby this time is bundled over, and there's a free kick for Guiseley just about level with the edge of the centre circle inside the Stalybridge half. Brooksby's down, clutching his ankle there. It's a late challenge on him.
Yeah, that one was a little bit more convincing. I wasn't sure Nicky Boschel was fouled immediately prior to that, but no doubt about that one. He's back up now, is Wayne.
Referee tonight, Mr. Wright from Southport. Gave the free kick on that occasion. Guiseley now can line up and get some big men forward. Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler. Adam Boys, of course, on the penalty spot. They're looking to get on the end of this ball. Ben Parker also up there. It looks like it'll be Brooksby to distribute. Hopefully a little bit better than he did on Saturday with the set pieces. This time goes up towards the back post, headed away. Only as far as Danny Boschel. He gets it back into the area, up towards Boys. Boys was always stretching backwards to get his head onto that ball, and he sent it over the bar anyway and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he did well actually, didn't he, Boys? He almost managed to kind of head it backwards, upwards, and almost snuck in under the bar. Keeper had it covered anyway.
Just to give you a couple of scores, we'll keep you up to speed with the various Conference North and Conference games that are going on tonight. Of course, there's an international weekend coming up, so not much higher up the league happening. Just before we go there, though, Stalybridge on the attack now. Anthony Malbon back to Mainwaring, and Mainwaring sends it all the way back to King, the goalkeeper, before Stalybridge start again. And it's a long one over the top, looking to release Malbon, but this time bounces all the way through to Stephen Drench. That goal in Vanarama Conference North, North Ferriby 1, Leamington 0. Another early goal for Ferriby. We go good guns again, and another one in the Vanarama Conference. Halifax, who of course were beaten by Altrincham at the weekend, they've taken the lead at home to Wrexham. Guiseley just concede the free kick. A bit over exuberance from Nicky Boschel on Paul Ennis, and it's a free kick to Stalybridge inside their own half. Don't forget, if you were tweeting us or giving us any feedback, you can do so via our Twitter account at Guiseley Radio. And the free kick's taken. Certainly need your feedback. We always like to know whether we're coming on air, and you can pick us up, so certainly do let us know if that is the case. Ball's in the right back position for Guiseley at the moment, out for a throw, and it has to be dealt with by Tilson before it's sent up towards the halfway line. But Stalybridge win the second phase here with Mike Williams heading on. Well, it's knocked out into touch, and it'll be a throw in for the home side. Williams to take. Just inside the Guiseley half on this left flank. He gets the ball from the return pass. Little chest pass from Malbon. Keeps possession until Guiseley intercept here. Good work here from Nicky Boschel to recover possession. Sends it out to the right-hand side. Ball forward from Tilson. Aimed towards Boys. Cut out well. And Stalybridge come away with the ball. The home side playing in their colours, of course, the home colours of blue with white shorts and blue socks. Guiseley in there all yellow tonight. Stalybridge in possession of the ball on the halfway line. Ben McKenna out to the right flank. Sends all the way back to the goalkeeper King, this time with Boys in close attention. King is forced to clear the ball into touch, and Guiseley get a throw, and then Brooksby looks to take it away from Matt Regan. Quickly does get the ball into Gavin Rothery, who's in the penalty area. Goes down to the touchline, gives it back here to Brooksby. Brooksby infield towards Lawler, but it's a really good tackle that comes in from Liam Dickinson, doing good defensive duties to win the ball back and start a counter-attack. But a good tackle here from Jake Lawler on Dickinson, wins the ball back for Guiseley. Danny Boschel out to the right-hand side. Gavin Rothery takes over, just infield from the touchline. cuts in field now towards the end of the penalty area. Sprays it across the face of goal. Boys gets a snapshot away. It's deflected away. Back here with Toulson. Toulson up towards the back post. Just almost gets over the goalkeeper and in the direction of Boys. But good work from King. He punches it away from Boys and it's out for a corner.
Oh, we have had our first tweet of the evening asking us if we're having the night off. Hashtag sort it. So thanks for that. We left Leeds at 5:15. We got here 10 minutes before kick-off.
Corner comes in. It's twisted in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed away. Picked up now by McKenna. McKenna sends it up towards Ennis. And now Stalybridge can counter-attack with some purpose here with Ennis sending the ball out towards Malburn, but cut out well by Guiseley, and good defensive work from Danny Boschel. Sends it out here towards the left-hand side where there's a bit of a tussle between Brooksby and his opponent, but the referee waves play on, and Stalybridge come forward with Ennis. Again, his ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box isn't good enough. Cut out by Danny Ellis. Sent all the way back to King. And Stalybridge will need to build again.
And in more encouraging news, we have also had message that we are getting through loud and clear. So thanks to Rob for the constructive feedback. And I hope, Philip, that you are hearing us as well now in Sandbach and enjoying it.
Good ball here from Rothery towards Boys. So well defended though. Guys, he pick up the second phase, give the ball out to the right-hand side where Nicky Boschel cuts in field. Plays a lovely little reverse pass towards Ryan Toulson. Good tackle comes in from Paul Ennis. And Ryan Toulson sort of falls over his body. There's no real sensible shout for a penalty from there. Guys, he can press still and pressure Stalybridge, but the home side do well to take the ball away now and come forward with Kelvin Blur. He sends the ball out to the right-hand side. And there's a chance with 3 players in the box for Stalybridge to deliver here with McKenna. His cross is cut out, this time by Danny Lowe. And guys, he can come away with it with Wayne Brooksby down the left-hand side. Sends it up towards Nicky Boschel, who started brightly in this game. Fresh from scoring that penalty on Saturday, late on in the match. And coming off the bench. This time starting this evening, this time the ball played up towards Adam Boys is defended, but guys, he do win the throw. It's a fairly open game, this, isn't it? Actually, it's one where either side looks like they could break down the other.
Yeah, no real clear-cut chances as such have been made yet, but both teams are passing it. Both teams look lively, so every reason to be optimistic at the moment.
Second goal for North Ferriby, 2-0 up against Leamington. Of course, we go to Ferriby on the 18th of October in a couple of weeks' time. Barely a fortnight away. First, there's Hale's Own in the FA Cup to overcome, but now guys who come forward here as they come with some purpose. Danny Boschel takes a shot from range, and an absolute fizzing shot from the edge of the area and into the bottom left-hand corner of the net, and the Lions have the lead, and you could hardly see that one coming. The ball out to Danny Boschel, and he finishes that with real style, and it's now Stalybridge 0, Guiseley 1.
Yeah, and he hammered that home into the bottom corner, right along the ground, fizzing beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. And it was a Boschel assist as well. Nicky Boschel with the pass off to his elder brother. So that's a fantastic start for them, and a really good start for Guiseley after what we said was an open beginning of the game. Guiseley have taken the early initiative.
A really great strike there from Danny Boschel. And you are used to him just retaining possession and keeping the ball, but that was a real demonstration of just how, when he sees an opportunity, he will have a go. And on that occasion, a super strike that's given Guiseley the lead in this match. So a great start for the Lions, and now they come forward looking to press home the advantage. Gavin Rothery out to the left-hand side here. Nicky Boschel back to Rothery. Rothery twists on the ball and keeps hold of it under pressure. Gives it back to Jake Lawler on the edge of the centre circle. Ben Parker takes over up towards Adam Boys. Boys back to Rothery. Guiseley hold on to the ball, not making any headway though inside the Stalybridge half. Good ball from Toulson, long one forward, flicked on by Adam Boys out to the right hand side where Gavin Rothery looks to get onto the end of it, and it's eventually cleared, and a good tackle comes in from Danny Ellis. But Stalybridge pick up this second phase and now can start a attack of their own, but Mainwaring's ball is loose. And it's recovered by Toulson, sent back to Stephen Drench. And Guiseley can just hold on to the ball for a little while. We scored at exactly this time on Saturday. But this time, boys, not on the score sheet, and just looking to see if he can get on the end of a loose ball there on the edge of the 18-yard box. Goalkeeper wins possession. And then clears and has it immediately returned to him. I was just going to say, Nick, we scored this time on Saturday and didn't work out too well for us then.
No, it didn't, but on Saturday we really struggled to do a good job in midfield of controlling possession. And right now at the moment, with Guiseley lining up against Stalybridge, who are playing a flat 4-4-2, Gavin Rothery's just able to drop off and play in between the lines. In fact, he and Wayne and Nicky Boschel are all playing in between the defence and the midfield of the Stalybridge team, and it's causing them problems.
The Lions come forward again as if to prove the point that Nick's trying to make. Patient build-up. Nicky Boschel's flick in the end, not quite good enough to set Ryan Toulson through, who'd made a really good advanced run from right back.
No, but as I'm looking at it, we've got two midfielders covering our defence, sort of ahead of Stalybridge's defence. So they're looking at a bank of 6 Guiseley players to get through. But Wayne Brooksby, Gavin Rothery, Nicky Boschel, none of them are being picked up by a blue shirt at the moment, whilst Adam Boys obviously gets plenty of attention from the 2 centre-backs.
Ball returned from Williams, back to the goalkeeper, King. Boys looking to hassle the back line all the time, never gives them a rest. Tries to put the tackle in. Eventually Stalybridge get it up to the halfway line and Danny Lowe takes over. Lowe and Rothery combine to win possession back off Ennis. And the home fans a little bit frustrated that they're not making any further headway when they're in possession of the ball. Guiseley certainly working very hard to win possession back and very hard to control it.
I think what's important tonight that didn't happen on Saturday is that Guiseley need to capitalise on this. Actually, they need to make the advantage count and press it home while they've got it, because we saw once the initiative was lost on Saturday just how quickly a game can change.
Stalybridge now look to exploit that fact and come down the right-hand side with McKenna. McKenna goes to the corner flag, gets a really good ball into the area, but Stephen Drench this time in the good position to claim that one. And Drench sends it up towards Boys, chested down by the front man, but can't find Rothery. Stalybridge win this one back, send it long again. Well headed away by Danny Lowe. Boys this time slips as he tries to control. Just loses his footing. Jake Lawler battling to try and recover it in midfield, but Stalybridge come away with it. And then a really smart interception from Danny Boschel wins the ball back for Guiseley. Gavin Rothery almost picking out Boys with the run, but well blocked and well defended. This time by the captain Regan, and sends it into Ennis. Ennis sends it out to the right-hand side, and again Stalybridge come forward. A good cross in towards the area, but too close to Stephen Drench and too far away from Liam Dickinson from the home side's perspective. And Drench can just take his time. Send it up towards Boys again. This time a second to the ball to the head of Matty Hughes, who wins that particular battle. Guys, who pick up the second phase here with Wayne Brooksby inside his own half towards Rothery. It's cut out again. Guiseley with the ball with Danny Ellis now on the edge of the 18-yard box. And a very good start to this game. Lions are leading 1-0 if you're just joining us. 22 minutes gone, and the goal is Danny Boschel. A really good strike from distance, where Brooksby's just been pushed by Mike Williams and gives Guiseley a free kick. Just a few yards in front of us. A few yards away from this right touchline inside the Stalybridge half. Midway through the Stalybridge half. Ryan Toulson stands over it. Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler, and Boys all up there along with Nicky Boschel. Boschel is the target man, in fact. It goes short, good worked free kick. Allows Wayne Brooksby a bit of a run on the edge of the area. Brooksby goes towards the touchline, he's tackled. And Guiseley win a throw-in just up from that corner flag on the right-hand side. That was a smartly worked free kick.
It was, and it keeps the pressure on just at a time when we're saying when needing to make something of the advantage in possession that we've been having.
Throwing now for Guiseley just up from the corner flag. Toulson can launch these ones long. It's an aspect to Guiseley's game we've not had last season. This one goes in towards Jake Lawler on the edge of the six-yard box. It's headed away, but the danger isn't dealt with completely. Boys takes it down with his back to goal, can't turn on the ball. It's cleared and out for a Guiseley throw on the far side. Taken quickly, and the Lions still have 3 players on the edge of the 18-yard box if they can capitalise, but in the end they go back to Lowe, and Lowe eventually sends it long down the left channel. Boyce attempts to flick it on. He's beaten to the ball in this occasion. Goalkeeper King comes out of his goal and is forced to knock it out into touch from good pressure there from Nicky Boschel. Throw taken. Rothery out on the left flank. Looks for options. Gives it to Ben Parker. Parker into the feet of Gavin Rothery again. Guiseley holding on to the ball. Extended periods of spell of this game in possession of the football, but on this occasion forced back to Stephen Drench. Good shape from Stalybridge in the defensive duties. And eventually the ball headed out for a Guiseley throw. Just a couple of scorelines coming through. Keep an eye on Hells Owen, who of course we play on Saturday. They're a goal down at home to Kings Lynn this evening. Hells Owen near the foot of the table, if not at the foot of the table of the Northern Premier League. So struggling this season, but that means nothing in cup form. Now Guiseley come down here with Brooksby. Brooksby gets a sort of half-shanked cross into the area. It wasn't the connection he was looking for. And in the end, it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, King. Also, it's Fylde 1, Tamworth 0. Fylde, of course, will have been heartened by the fact that Chorley were held 3-3, reduced to 9 men and held 3-3 last night by Hyde. Jake Lawler now on the ball for Guiseley. Gets the ball out to the left-hand side. The ball played into the area towards Adam Boyes by Parker, who'd made a surging forward run. And Parker, who's surely offside when he comes back on field to prevent the ball going out for a goal kick. And there's 2 players currently struggling at the moment. Blur is one of them. Oh, sorry, it's Matt Regan who's one of them. The other one's Boyes. Boyes is up and running, but Matt Regan seems to have taken a bit of a knock for Stalybridge. Happily, he's up. And it will be a goal kick, sorry, a free kick rather, to Stalybridge eventually when the game gets back underway. Let's just give you another one of those goals. Yes, there's another one in Vanarama Conference North, and it's North Ferriby 2, Leamington 1 now. So Ferriby, who were 2-1 up, have conceded at home. Leamington back in with a shout in that game. Stalybridge in possession at the moment with Mainwaring. Looks for options ahead of him and goes back to King. Bit of frustration from the home crowd again at the lack of forward momentum. Guys who now need to get into shape because Stalybridge have the ball with Mike Williams on the halfway line, but again they're finding it difficult to make any headway, aren't they, into the Guiseley territory without wanting to jinx things. Hughes, rather aimless ball forward, but gets a lucky bounce off Parker to find Ennis. Ennis takes a shot from distance, high and wide, behind the bar, and pretty sums up recent passages of play for Stalybridge. They've not been able to make any headway. No,
they're struggling to break down the Guiseley defence. They haven't got the extra man that Guiseley seem to have when they're going forward. I do think that's just the way that the systems are matching up against each other at the moment. Obviously, that could change at any point in the game, like we saw on Saturday. Perhaps slightly more worrying is that Danny Lowe is taking Stephen Drench's goal kick for him here. So possibly an injury to the keeper.
Well, that'll be one to watch out for. Still, Lowe's ball is excellent. It almost releases Adam Boyes. But like you say, Nick, quite disconcerting. Equally as disconcerting as the ball fizzing away 2 feet away from our computer here.
I'm assuming that'll happen at some point this evening, by the way. This is one of the lowest commentary positions I've sat in and so close to the halfway line. We're going to get a throw-in, come and smash our laptop at some point, aren't we?
Yes, we've already got the insurance claim written up. Guiseley, meanwhile, have a throw-in. Ryan Tilson. We are joking, of course. There's no way we have insurance for this lot. But Ryan Tilson has the ball, sends it over the back line. It goes all the way back to the keeper.
It'd be worth insuring if it worked more often.
I quite enjoyed the fact that we're getting grief before the game, you know.
Yeah.
These professional setups that we are.
Yeah. Hashtag sort it. I mean, that hurts.
I think fair play to him. The ball again fizzes across in front of us as it's cleared into touch, and a Guiseley throw now, a Stalybridge throw now, this time on the near side. Gives the home side a little bit more encouragement. They've got the ball about midway through the Guiseley half on the left flank. Williams to take. Throw short. Picked up by McKenna. McKenna cuts well infield. Plays a lovely reverse pass into Malbon. Malbon gets a shot away. Good save from Stephen Drench. Drench had to get down low to his right and hold on to that. It was quite close to him. But just a little bit of encouragement for the home side, because that time they managed to craft out quite a decent chance for the striker Malbon.
Yeah, and just that time they've managed to get a man loose off of the Guiseley defender. The pairing of Dickinson and Malbon up against Lowe and Ellis have been fairly well watched so far, but that was the first time Malbon had really been able to slip away and get himself some space on the edge of the box.
Now Stalybridge come forward again. This time Ennis has found some space just over the centre circle. Plays it up towards Dickinson. Seemed to bounce off the back of his heels as he tried to control it, and Guiseley can tidy that up. Jake Lawler up to the halfway line, where Gavin Rothery is being pressed by the Stalybridge midfield under instruction from the management. And now Guiseley come away with it from left-back position, with Ben Parker playing it up towards Adam Boys. It's been to it again this time by Matty Hughes, who's doing well against Boys early doors in this game. Parker from left-back up to the halfway line. Boys takes it down with good control on the halfway line. This time it's worked out to the left flank. Rothery chases, Regan's there ahead of him. And it's a throw-in for the Lions.
Yeah, and so far, so routine for Guiseley. Not huge threats so far, as we've said, and nearly half an hour now into the game. The question is, of course, can we convert this one-goal lead and get ourselves some breathing room? Because we can't afford another repeat of Saturday, and we can't expect another get-out-of-jail penalty if we were to get into that situation.
Good header from Adam Boys here. Actually just flicks it down well to Parker from Stephen Drench's clearance. Parker now making some headway down that left flank. Plays a lovely ball in here to Rothery. Rothery cuts inside the area, turns past his man, but couldn't get the ball as it ran away from him. And then Stalybridge counter-attack now well, with Ben McKenna coming down the left flank this time up against Ryan Tilson. McKenna is tackled by Tilson. Tilson does well, and then good work from Wayne Brooksby to collect the ball from Tilson's tackle. But Guiseley closed down in midfield. Danny Boschel in the end holding on to it, giving it to Brooksby. Trying to slow things down, just to take some of the sting out of the game for a moment or two, give Guiseley a breather. Drench, his distribution high in the air. A bit of a worry that, isn't it, Nick, to be honest?
It's not a good sign, is it?
Ennis now gets the ball for Stalybridge, takes a blast from range, bounces off a Guiseley man, headed away by Lowe. Boschel can't get to the ball this time, and fouls Oliver Crowley, and it'll be a free kick to Stalybridge, about level with the centre circle inside the Lions half.
That being said, there's no evidence of Steve Dickinson warming up at the moment, so whatever Drench's issue is, he obviously doesn't think it requires an urgent substitution.
Free kick is for Stalybridge, just a couple of yards in front of the centre circle. Inside the Guiseley half, they've got plenty of players up on the edge of the 18-yard box. The ball's distributed in, headed away firmly by Danny Ellis. Manages to find Adam Boys as well. And the counter-attack almost on, sent over the back from Nicky Boschel towards Wayne Brooksby, but Lewis King is swiftly out of his goal and launches it clear. But great header again from Danny Ellis. He's so good, isn't he, in the air? And that ball, as it was whipped in, was watched all the way by Ellis.
It wasn't. He's just having a little chat with Drenchy and Danny Lowe as well. They're all communicating and discussing how they wanted that situation to pan out. And I've said it a couple of times in recent games, but I do like that we do seem to have more communicators and leaders out there on the pitch than was the case a season or two ago. Throw
in for Guiseley up to the halfway line. Flicked on, taken away by Ryan Tilson. Good interception here. Ball forward towards Nicky Boschel. He looked like he might have been a yard off, but the flag was down anyway. It ran beyond him and to the goalkeeper. Stalybridge have the ball. Come forward now with Ennis surging forward. A brilliant run from Ennis. Plays the ball out to the left-hand side. Picked up here by McKenna. McKenna cuts in, takes a drive on the right foot. Blocked by Danny Lowe, and then Danny Boschel can tidy things up, sends it up towards Gavin Rothery. Boys controls on his chest, sends it backwards, and just a little bit scrappy in possession for a moment there. Get away with it. Boschel back to Lowe, and Lowe sends it long. Down the left channel. It's a bit of a hopeless cause for Boys to chase. Headed out anyway, nonetheless, by Matty Hughes. Guys who get the throw. Parker takes over, brings the ball over the halfway line. Gives it to Boschel. Boschel back here to Danny Ellis, and Danny Ellis sends it back to Stephen Drench. Drench clears, again, not in his usual convincing fashion. Sends it up to the halfway line. The guys who recover with Jake Lawler. Just clips one over the back four. Goalkeeper King comes out. He just misjudges the flight of the ball, and with his clearance, skews the ball into touch for a Guiseley throw.
Yeah, it's not the first one he's shanked, I don't think, either so far this half, King, so gives Guiseley a dangerous throw-in.
Tilson takes it short this time, gets the return pass, crosses, and towards the edge of the area, Boschel and Lawler both went for the ball. Lawler passes it on, and then a drive from Parker takes a deflection. It's kept in play. Brooksby recovers right by the corner flag on the right-hand side, runs in field, gets a shot towards goal. It's cut out well by Regan, and it's gone behind for a Guiseley corner on this right-hand side.
Yeah, that could have gone down as the luckiest goal of all time. The long shot from Ben Parker deflected into the path way out wide of Wayne Brooksby. Cut into the box, trying to shoot on his left for the far post, and as you say, blocked out for a corner.
Corner to come in here from Boschel, I think it is, who's gone to take it. He whips it in with deflected. Lawler gets a shot, and it's in the back of the net. Guiseley have a second. Jake Lawler gets the deflection, applies the finish, and it's Stalybridge 0, Guiseley 2.
Well, that's the second goal that was so important that we didn't get on Saturday, that we talked about already tonight, Colin. Brilliant start to the game this has been for Guiseley now, just 35 minutes in. Corner coming in, ball bobbling around in the box. First touch wasn't going anywhere exciting, and Jake Lawler sort of sideways onto goal, managed to stab a foot out and direct it into the middle of the goal. King was wrong-footed and stranded. 2-0 Guiseley.
Just what the doctor ordered so far, isn't it, after Saturday? Jake Lawler and Danny Boschel on the score sheet, the two holding midfielders, proving that they've got more to their game than just that, and the Lions have a 2-goal advantage in the first 35 minutes. It's not to say Stalybridge haven't been without their threat, and they look to make an immediate response, but they've not been able to keep the ball in play. Just a couple of goals again. North Ferriby have got a third now, so it's 3-1 to North Ferriby against Leamington. And Oxford City have taken a lead at home to Stockport County. That's bound not to be the end of the scoring between Oxford City and anyone. 1-0 to Oxford there, and Guiseley meanwhile have a throw in on the halfway line, needing 2-0 here against a Stalybridge Celtic side here at Bowerfold that have had some good results this season. If I'm not miscorrect, I think they were one of the sides to beat Fylde, and they've certainly got the potential to be a team to watch if they can get back into this game, a foothold back into this game, and I'm sure it could be a different matter. But Guiseley at the moment 2 goals to the good. McKenna now coming down for the right-hand side, gives the ball to Ennis. Ennis gets a shot from the edge of the 18-yard box. Perhaps could have put that to the left or the right of Stephen Drench, and in the end it was straight down the middle, and Drench gratefully clutches it.
Yeah, he focused on the technique as he took that shot, did Ennis, and it was very central in the goal, either side of Drench, and he would have been stretched because it was at a difficult height to make a full-length save.
Danny Ellis takes the ball down from a clearance from Stalybridge, and Danny Boschel takes over. Good ball up towards Boys. Boys gets in a great position, passes it into the feet of Rothery. Rothery out to the left-hand side. He's got Nicky Boschel out there. Boschel crosses it towards the edge of the 6-yard box, just beyond Adam Boyes a little bit short of where he was. It's cleared this time, and Ennis in defensive duties does well. And Wayne Brooksby tries to close down Mike Williams. Stalybridge trying to play their way out of defence, but in the end, good work from Wayne Brooksby. And Toulson can recover the ball for Guiseley and sends it all the way back to Lowe. Back here with Stephen Drench. And Drench again, his touch isn't the greatest. Up in the air, taken down by Brooksby, gives the ball to Rothery. Guiseley playing some lovely football at the moment, passing. Boschel just feigns and dummies that one to allow it to roll through to Jake Lawler. Nicky Boschel is flick on towards Adam Boyes. Is eventually the pass that goes wrong for Guiseley. But they still win the ball back with the clearance from the goalkeeper going straight to Lowe, and now it's with Rothery after 3 or 4 passes, and eventually Rothery concedes possession, and Williams comes away with it for Stalybridge over the halfway line. Direct stuff now from them, perhaps more required. The ball with Mainwaring out to the right hand side, and it's Crowley who comes forward now for Stalybridge. He takes the ball and crosses it towards the penalty area, and then Paul Ennis gets a second phase, and his drive from the edge of the 18-yard box, or the edge of the D, is wide and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, guys are playing some really nice football in the last few minutes, but they've not got to get ahead of themselves. It's a little bit early in the game to be playing champagne football that's not going anywhere, I think. Once again, it's Danny Lowe going to take this goal kick.
Let's see what is wrong. That suggests he maybe has a groin or a pull of some sort, hamstring or something like that. That's just tweaked and just giving him a problem. Yeah, there's nothing obvious from the way that he's walking, but of course it wouldn't need to be to stop you kicking a ball at full pelt. You're not necessarily going to be limping as well. They obviously decided to see if they can get him to half time or however far into the game, rather than spend an early substitution. If he says he can still make his saves and come for his crosses, then maybe it's okay to leave him out there. Well, the ball nodded on here by Mike Williams, and Stalybridge come away with it to the halfway line. Free kick is given, and it goes back, and there's going to be a yellow card. And I'm not quite sure what that incident merited a yellow card for. Adam Boyes is furious. He's incredulous. And so is Mark Bauer down here. He can't believe that. But I must admit, I just didn't see what incident the referee is referring to. But he's nonetheless going to give Adam Boyes a yellow card.
It's a strange one. I didn't see it. There's one Stalybridge player applauding the decision, and everyone else on the pitch is seems to be a bit nonplussed by it.
Little bit call. Free kick is taken here for Stalybridge by Lewis King inside his own half. Sends it long up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. It's flicked on up towards Malburn. He can't get a hold of it. Gavin Rothery gets a head away, but only as far as Ennis. Ennis plays the ball back. It's picked up now by Williams. Williams' cross goes up towards the back post, headed away by Parker, helped away by Lawler. But still Stalybridge have the ball on the halfway line and still are in attacking flow with players forward. Long one in towards the edge of the D, and a flick from Ennis, almost trying to release Malburn. Good tackle comes in though. And a second challenge from Nicky Boschel deflects off him and goes out for a Stalybridge throw on the halfway line. Picked up here by Mainwaring and then sent all the way back to the goalkeeper, King. King's going to be given no time to settle on the ball by Boschel, but does well to keep it ticking over for Stalybridge until a loose ball gives it the way to Lowe. And we watch Stephen Drench clear again. Takes a kick. Doesn't look too much discomfort when you just watch him after kicking the ball. And gets it into the Stalybridge half nonetheless, but certainly not kicking with the direction and accuracy you're used to him doing in normal game.
No, he definitely swung his foot sort of sideways through the ball there. And
Boyes Nick, just chasing on to Reagan from the ball, wins the ball off him, plays it to Brooksby. Brooksby's cross is poor, and in the end Stalybridge can clear.
No, it might be that if he uses a slightly different technique, he can make a pass or a clearance that he's happy with, but he's obviously not putting his whole leg through it like he normally would.
Crowley now on the ball for Stalybridge. Square here to Reagan. Reagan comes forward, and Reagan sends it in towards the edge of the 18-yard box, where Dickinson and Malburn combine. Malburn out to the left flank now, shadowed by Danny Ellis. Ellis is in between him and the ball. Ellis eventually gets the tackle in and gets it to Wayne Brooksby, who's in right back position. And, Wayne Brooksby gets a good little pass into Gavin Rothery, and Guiseley still trying to pass their way out of defence. Do well, recover possession. Still being pressed, a high line by Stalybridge. They're certainly pressing and trying to close down the Lions when we're in possession of the ball. Certainly since that first goal. Gavin Rothery still has the ball though for Guiseley on the halfway line. Boschel switches it to the right flank where Toulson cuts infield well to Nicky Boschel. Good flick from Boschel, gives it to Boys. Boys lays it back here to Danny Boschel. Boschel almost dummies it, loses out to Ennis. I think Boschel thought the man behind him was there when he wasn't. But nonetheless, Ennis's ball is given away and Guiseley can recover it here with Nicky Boschel. Danny Boschel plays it forward, looking for Boys. This time it's a good interception from Reagan. Gives the ball here to Kelvin Blur. He comes forward down the right flank. And Guiseley now having to get their shape and get their organisation back defensively. Ryan Toulson puts the critical tackle in. Gets it up to the halfway line. If you're just joining us, we're just about at half-time. Guiseley leading by 2-0. In a good 45 minutes from Jake Lawler and Danny Boschel. As he will, well, surely win a free kick, I thought there for a minute, but the referee decides that Reagan's challenge on Gavin Rothery is fair. That one isn't, but it gives an advantage this time for Guiseley because Danny Boschel was brought down. And Guiseley come away with it nonetheless. Jake Lawler plays a rather wayward ball forward, high and in the air and dealt with by the home side. They come away with it down the left flank. Good tackle comes in from Ryan Toulson. And Malburn's pulled back for his challenge on Toulson as he went for the header. Couple of goals. We said that there was going to be a goal for Oxford City and Stockport. We said that wasn't the end of it, and Oxford actually got a second now. 2-0 to Oxford City against Stockport County.
What was the foul and what was it?
So that's probably the first third of the goals for the evening there out of the way then, is it?
Never quite sure which Oxford's going to turn up, they say, don't they?
Do United sometimes go?
Yeah, OK. It was a rubbish analogy. Danny Boschel picks the ball up. It's a good job I'm not a pro. The ball into Gavin Rothery. Rothery twists and turns, goes towards the edge of the D. Tries to dribble through the numerous blue shirts that were in front of him. The ball back out to the left-hand side, and guys, he can't cut down this Stalybridge defence on this occasion. And just have to be wary because Ennis is now coming over the halfway line for the home side on the counter-attack. He strides forward with purpose, plays the ball out to the right-hand side where Dickinson keeps the ball ticking over. McKenna crosses in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Toulson. And eventually Guiseley clear into Stalybridge's half. And the goalkeeper, Lewis King, gets it away. Danny Boschel came forward to try and close down Reagan. And another heavy touch. And a poor pass concedes possession to Guiseley again from Stalybridge. And you can sense the frustration around this ground with the home side. And the referee calls time. Good first half for the Lions. Guiseley leading 2-0 here at Stalybridge Celtic. Jake Lawler and Danny Boschel on the score sheet. So Nick, what do you make of that first 45?
I think it's fairly routine away performance from Guiseley so far. You can tell that they've lined up with extra options in midfield and just behind attack, and that's given them good possession. It's given them good cover for their defensive back line as well. And so at the moment it's all going very well for the visiting team. Stalybridge at half-time need to have a think about what they can do about getting a bit of composure and a bit more control in midfield than they've been getting so far, and they need to not be making these wayward back passes that put Lewis King under pressure while he's struggling with his clearances. And speaking of struggling with clearances, the last player off the pitch by quite a long way, he's only just trudging off now, Stephen Drench. And it'll be interesting to see whether he's going to come back out for the second half or whether we're going to see him coming back out to warm down soon. It's hard to tell. His body language wasn't good as he was leaving the pitch there, but he isn't limping, and he's been playing for a while without taking his kicks. I just hope there's nothing seriously wrong with him.
Yeah, very good point. We'll be back for the second half. Let's just quickly give you the half times though before we just go off air for a few moments. Halifax leading Wrexham in the Vanarama Conference 1-0. In the Vanarama Conference North, it's Harrogate 0, Gainsborough 0, Hensford 0, Colwyn Bay 0. Well, no score from Lowestoft or Brackley, or actually indeed indication that the game's going ahead, so we'll keep an eye on that one. North Ferriby 3, Leamington 1, Oxford City 2, Stockport County 0, Stalybridge 0, Guiseley 2 of course here in that first 45, Tamworth 0, Fylde 1. And keeping a tab on one game in the Northern Premier League, our next opponents, Hales Owen, who are playing tonight against Kings Lynn and are trailing at half-time by 1-0. Hope you've enjoyed the first 45. We hope the second 45 is going to be as enjoyable for the Lions. 2-0 up, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back here to Bowerfold for the second half of this Vanarama Conference North match between Stalybridge Celtic and Guiseley. Half-time, the Lions lead by 2-0. Danny Boschel with a super strike on 16 minutes from outside the D. A great effort that went to the bottom right-hand corner of the net. And then Jake Lawler with a second from a corner on 35, the difference between the two sides. 2 substitutes for Stalybridge as they look to get back into this game. They're taking off Oliver Crowley and Anthony Malburn, and they're going to bring on James Cadman and Nathan Heath. And Guiseley are just coming back out now with the referee. We're just waiting for the referee to return to the pitch.
No, absolutely. I was trying to. Sorry, not very good at the whole lip reading thing yet, are we? But both teams are out and lined up. Stalybridge have been out for ages. They were sent out very early by their manager. They've got 2 substitutes waiting on the sidelines. And I was just looking to see why they hadn't been waved onto the pitch yet, and realised that we had no officials out here 2 or 3 minutes after the teams had finished their pre-second half warm-ups and were all lined up and ready to go.
Good tea at half-time here.
Must be.
Referee is finally out on the pitch, Mr. Wright. Only issued 1 yellow card in that first 45, a rather uncertain one from our perspective for Adam Boyes. Not quite clear what the decision was. We didn't see the incident, but he was very certain it was a yellow card, and even though Mark Bauer and Adam Boyes both protested, the referee was very deliberate about it, and he's just lining everyone up. We've got Stalybridge Celtic shooting from left to right in this half. Guiseley in their all yellow kit in front of us in one of these 2 fine stands here at Bowerfold. Stalybridge in blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Kicking off and getting the ball forward immediately and looking to get an early foothold back into this match here with Paul Ennis on the right flank. His cross is blocked by Jake Lawler. I guess the main thing, Nick, is not to concede early in this second period, because certainly they will come at us.
Yeah, we said after half-time on...
The ball just into the area, actually. It was a good delivery, sorry. Heath with a good ball in, headed away, and eventually Guiseley clear and get a free kick.
We said after half-time on Saturday that the longer it stayed 1-0, the more the pressure would build, the harder it would start to feel that you were hanging on to the game. In the same way, the longer it carries on at 2-0 after half-time, the harder it will be for Stalybridge to feel they've got an opportunity to get back into the game. So Guiseley really have to see this first 10 or 15 minutes out without conceding.
Maybe even snatching another one. Leading 2-0 if you're just joining us. And Stephen Drench is back on the field. That was one of our concerns at the break because of his apparent awkwardness kicking the ball. Comfortable in this occasion. Guiseley with Danny Boschel. And Danny Lowe playing the ball up towards Nicky Boschel, who holds it on the halfway line, and a good ball forward now for Ben Parker, who's made a good run forward down the left flank. Gets the ball into the area this time, too close to the goalkeeper. Lewis King collects comfortably. And picked up now by McKenna. Stalybridge now looking to get the ball up to the halfway line, and McKenna takes over but is well dispossessed. Rothery on the halfway line up against the other substitute, James Cadman. Cadman now on the ball for Stalybridge, tackled by Rothery, and the ball back with Stephen Drench. Takes it down well with the foot and then distributes the ball well up towards Adam Boyes. Looked much more comfortable in that instance. Chested down here though by Heath. Heath plays it up towards Cadman. Tackle comes in from Danny Ellis. And Kelvin Blur takes over for Stalybridge Celtic. Plays the ball across the halfway line. And eventually it's poked forward by the home side and headed down and played back by Parker to Drench. And the danger of that particular move passes for a moment. Drench up here to Boschel, Brooksby. Brooksby's dispossessed. Cadman comes forward, a tricky character, plays the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. And Guiseley managed to hold their line and get the ball out into touch, and it's going to be a throw-in for Stalybridge on this near side, just in front of us. Ball here with Blur. Tackle comes in from Nicky Boschel. He sends it back to Stephen Drench. Drench sends it up to the halfway line, up towards Boys. Boys takes it down on that halfway line well, is tripped. It was a good ball from Nicky Boschel to Danny Boschel, and if the referee had seen where the ball was passed to, I think he might have let play go on, but guys, they have a free kick on the halfway line.
Well, I'd never claimed to have the skills required to be a referee, because I stopped. I saw the foul. I didn't see where play was going next, because it was obvious that Adam had his ankles clipped. But if there was an advantage there, then I agree. It would have been better to have it played on.
Lowe plays the ball forward from the free kick, headed away. Second phase falls to Parker. Lawler does well, lays it back here to Lowe. Lowe sends it over the back line towards Gavin Rothery. Good header away and tidied up well by Heath. Mainwaring lays it square, and Stalybridge Celtic lose possession on the edge of the centre circle. It's picked up now by Boys. He plays it out to the right-hand side where Brooksby and Lawler exchange passes. Tilson then sends it forward towards Gavin Rothery. He does well to control it. Guys, he's still trying to hold on to the ball and hold on to possession. Frustrate Stalybridge with it on the halfway line. Boschel into Nicky Boschel. Then Danny Lowe sends it over the top, and it's a good run here from Parker. Forces the goalkeeper to come out. He gets his hands to it but doesn't hold on to it. Sends it out of the area and eventually clears with his feet. Guys, he pick up the ball again this time. Nicky Boschel into Parker. Parker, who's still forward, comes down this left flank, plays the ball in towards Boys. Boys takes it down. He's got a chance on goal, beats the goalkeeper to it, takes a shot, and it's in the back of the net. Brilliant bit of football there, and a great ball in to find Boys. A good pass there from Ben Parker, and a great finish from Adam Boys, and it's now Stalybridge 0, Guiseley 3.
Oh, that was a lovely third goal. It came from good possession by Guiseley. They kept on to it well. A lovely little pass around the corner by Nicky Boschel, actually, down here on the left flank to let Ben Parker in. He took ground and then played a curling cross from deep out to the left, about level with the left-hand edge of the penalty area. Perfect through for Adam Boys, who was very composed in the air and then smashed it into the underside of the crossbar, into the back of the net.
Well, this is turning out to be a good evening for the Lions. Stalybridge kick off and play a rather inventive ball down the left-hand side to give McKenna a chance to run. He crosses from that left flank but overhits it and sends it behind for a goal kick.
Perfect time for a third for Guiseley, for all the reasons that we said. After the difficulty we've had in closing out games, taking a 3-goal lead, and hopefully that might break the resistance of the home team, who might now know that it's not their night. Guys, they have the opportunity to see about trying to keep a clean sheet.
Well, Danny Lowe's just taken the goal kick there again. It's gone up towards Adam Boys. There was a shout for an argued push in the back of Boys. More of the claim came from the Guiseley fans to our left, behind the goal rather than on the field, really, to be fair. Lions have the ball, though. Play it up towards Parker, who's found some space again down this left flank. He's finding good areas to play in. Plays it into Nicky Boschel. Boschel's now got 2 players on him. He's going away to the touchline. Plays it well back to Danny Boschel. Parker in field here to Jake Lawler. Lawler plays the ball towards the edge of the D. Cut out this time by the Stalybridge defence. And now a chance for the home side to get the ball into Guiseley territory as they come away with it on the counter-attack. Another surging run down the left flank from McKenna. He's got 2 players on him, and Tilson and Brooksby attempt to win the ball back. McKenna does really well, actually. Holds it, goes backwards, gives it to Cadman. And it's square here to Ennis. Ennis now faces a bank of Guiseley players ahead of him, so gives it out to McKenna on the left-hand side again, and McKenna again faces a bank of Guiseley players, so he too in turn goes backwards. And Guiseley's shape is solid and prevents the home side from coming forward short balls, but they play a good long one into Dickinson on the edge of the area. He flicks it down towards Cadman, and an unusual headed clearance from Tilson, and eventually Guiseley come away with it.
The header there was deliberately so as not to play it back to Stephen Drench, actually. And that just comes a moment after. We didn't get a chance to comment on it, but a moment after Drench couldn't kick from hands that time. That's the first time we've seen him not make his own clearance when the ball's in his hands, and he had to call Danny Lowe over to take it for him. So there's a definite vulnerability there at the moment. As I say, nothing immediately happening on the Guiseley bench, but it is a problem.
Ball now here with Ennis, gets a cross in, a flick away from Danny Ellis, because it was a good ball into the area, and Dickinson was behind him. Ennis again with the ball, right by the touchline, gives it to Heath. Heath's cross cut out by Lawler, picked up this time by Stalybridge in the second phase, and plays it out to the left-hand flank, and eventually it goes out to touch for a throw, and Guiseley will take this one at left back. It's a goal in the Vanarama Conference North. Oxford 2, Stockport 1. Stockport getting a foothold back in that game. Probably more goals to come yet in that one. And at the moment, Guiseley leading 3-0 here, with Stalybridge in possession of the ball inside the Guiseley half, with a throw on the left-hand side, midway through the Guiseley half. And while they've had a fair spell of possession in the last couple of minutes, they haven't really been able to force any clear-cut chances. Ennis on that occasion unable to control. Guiseley defend it calmly, but can't hold on to the ball. The header from Matty Hughes is played forward by Danny Boschel. Guiseley now need to press this Stalybridge backline for a moment and just give the backline a relief. The ball down the right-hand side from Stalybridge finds Dickinson. Dickinson's up against Danny Lowe. Lowe holds him up, but Dickinson does well, plays it in towards Ennis. Good tackle comes in from Ben Parker, but gives it straight to Blur. And then a good interception from Nicky Boschel, playing it up towards Boyce. Good tackle on him. Cadman has to prevent the ball going back towards Adam Boyes. Rothery takes over and gives it to Danny Ellis. Ellis with a good one forward to Brooksby. Guiseley now back in possession of this ball and can just knock it around and frustrate the Stalybridge defence for a while.
I think what Stalybridge have done well since half-time is they have got an extra man in midfield now, and Cadman does seem quite lively. He's making an awful lot of running as he... There's more than a lively challenge he just put in, actually. I'll let you see this through. Yeah, good tackle from Cadman on Boyes, and then the ball goes through towards him again on the return run. But it's overhit, actually, this time, much to his frustration. Like you say, Nick, a very bright and lively player. But what the extra man in midfield has done has been to narrow their midfield a little bit. Having someone in behind their strikers, the home fans aren't that happy at Guiseley being awarded a throw in here, but narrowing the midfield and getting the extra man in there has meant that Ben Parker in particular and Ryan Toulson to a lesser extent have been able to exploit the width that's there now, because certainly on this side in front of us, Paul Ennis is now trying to play up front and the whole of the right wing by himself, and that's allowing Ben Parker to get free as he's doing now. Yeah, Parker comes down this left flank again. He's chased by Heath. Heath does well, actually. Parker goes to ground, but there's a slip rather than a foul, and the ball's cleared by Heath. It's a throw for Stalybridge, though, just on the halfway line. The home side trying to play with a real tempo now as they try to get a foothold back in this game. Cadman on the halfway line is forced back, and one thing you have to say about guys is our shape is preventing them from making any headway when they're in possession of the ball. They might change that now. Blur's got the ball on the right-hand side. Cuts in field. It's just taken off the feet of McKenna by Danny Boschel, but only as far as Ennis. Ennis goes for another driving run forward. And this time it goes all the way through to Stephen Drench, and we watch with some concern as to how he'll clear this particular ball. There's no doubt that when you're facing a team set up like Guiseley with the disciplined back four and then the two holding defensive midfielders, that's hard to break down with passing through the middle, which is what Stalybridge are trying to do at the moment. Ball's now on the right hand side. Wayne Brooksby picks it up, invites the challenge to try and earn the corner, but it's well cleared. Guiseley have a throw in on the right hand side, just a few yards up from the corner flag. It's taken the time to take it. It's given in short to Gavin Rothery.
Rothery in towards Brooksby. Brooksby's tackled. It's that man Cadman again. Gives the ball to Dickinson. Cadman's going on a surging run down that left-hand side. Danny Lowe's there to tidy things up. But he's certainly full of the industry and energy that Stalybridge need if they're to get back into this game. The ball's been sent back here for Matty Hughes to tidy up for the home side.
I don't know how long Cadman will be able to play like this. He's on the ball again now, but he's blowing when he stops, trying to catch his breath.
Stalybridge still with the ball though, and play it out to the right-hand side. It's cut out well again by Guiseley, and again a little passing interchange, tries to release Ben Parker. This time he's intercepted by Blur, and the ball sent back to Lewis King. There's a goal for Colwyn Bay in their game against Hensford. Their lead at Hensford at Keys Park, 1-0 in that match. Meanwhile, Ennis on the ball, plays it out to Heath as Stalybridge tried to get one back in here. It bounces off the arm of Lowe. I think it was too close for him to move his arm out of the way. Nothing given from the referee. It was well outside of the penalty area anyway. Throw-in is taken, and Stalybridge go backwards from the throw, which will be very frustrating actually, because you'd imagine they'd wanted to press that advantage that they had in the position, but they've sent it back and try to run forward again through the middle, with Regan, the captain, trying to lead by example. Heath has the ball on towards the edge of the area. Dickinson tries to send in Blur. Blur goes to ground. He claims a free kick is given, and the referee gives a corner kick.
Well, neither team seems happy with that.
I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think it was a goal kick, but they claimed a penalty, and whatever it was, I don't think it was a corner.
No, it seems like that was the consolation prize for not getting a penalty.
Ennis sends this one into the area. It's cut out by Rothery. Generous from Ennis. He didn't deliver the ball particularly well. Guiseley clear, but the only man in the Lions' half, in the Stalybridge half, is Lewis King, the Stalybridge goalkeeper. He sends it forward. The flag goes up for an offside decision, and Guiseley have a free kick, much to the frustration of the home fans here. And this is working out pretty well, isn't it, so far, this second half? 15 minutes gone as we hit the hour mark. Guiseley leading 3-0.
Yeah, I'll take this. The evening started pretty stressfully with the 2 hours for an hour and a 5-minute journey or whatever it was, and the getting into the ground and the technical problems. I'll tell you what, right now, feels like it was worth it. Is that going to be one of the? Are we going to lose 4-3 now? Is that going to be my all-time biggest commentator's curse?
Yeah, don't say anything more. Stalybridge come forward with Ennis. Ennis is brushed off the ball by Jake Lawler, and Ben Parker can come forward. Cadman is still chasing all over the pitch to try and win possession back for the home side. Parker gets the ball back to Lawler. Guiseley just holding on to it at the moment. Playing it forward neatly with Brooksby. Finds Rothery towards the edge of the D. Rothery loses the ball, and then there's a trip on Nicky Boschel by Heath. Guiseley have a free kick some 25 yards from goal.
Well, it seems to be a controversial one. I thought it looked like a foul, but referee's pulled him over for a booking as well here, I think, by the looks of it.
Surprised at the booking.
No, I'm not.
Unless he said something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the way that it was protested. Well, it was a severe letting off in the end. He's had a long chat with him, and that's all for Hughes, I think it was, wasn't it? And it looks like it'll be a pick between Nicky Boschel and Wayne Brooksby for this. It's left of centre. You'd think it would be favourable for Brooksby, but it's been placed and lined up by the younger Boschel. So we'll see.
It's going to be in shooting distance anyway. It's about 20 yards probably from goal, actually, really. It's just to the left of the D. And it's Wayne Brooksby and Nicky Boschel who both line up against a four-man wall. Brooksby peels off and Boschel passes it to him, and it seems rather disappointing in the end because Brooksby's forced out to the corner flag. Still in possession, gives it back to Nicky Boschel. He swings one in towards the back post, and Danny Ellis is adjudged to have pushed his man. And a free kick to Stalybridge on the edge of the 6-yard box, but disappointing free kick, actually. I can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it was one from the training ground, but it was just an overly hit pass. It was ahead of Brooksby. He couldn't cross it in with his left, and it did feel like they could have done with taking a shot, really.
Guiseley now defending again here, picked up by Nicky Boschel up to the halfway line, tackled. Ball goes high in the air. Stephen Drench takes it down with his feet and controls.
It was a good first touch.
It was a very good first touch. And,
sometimes you forget what a good outfield player he would be if he wanted to be.
He's got the ball in his hands anyway at the moment, and plays it out with his feet up towards the back line. If we're overly descriptive in that, we were a little bit worried that he might have a problem or a niggle with the goal kicks being taken by Danny Lowe this evening. Stalybridge pick up possession and come forward now with a bit of purpose. Blur down this right-hand side. He's got Ennis ahead of him. Parker watches the pass. He knows exactly where that's going. Cuts it out almost too easily. Gives it back to Danny Lowe and sends it up over the halfway line. In the end, beyond Adam Boys and all the way back to Lewis King.
No, frustrating that for Celtic. The pass was very obvious, and if the defenders stood there waiting to block the pass, then I think you should change your mind and not try it.
Now Nicky Boschel is drawn into a tackle. He takes the ball off Paul Ennis, wins it back and gives it to Gavin Rothery, who has a chance to run down this left flank and go towards the penalty area up against Heath. Well worked by the substitute, good tackle. And he's taken it away from Guiseley, and now the counter-attack is on. Heath is still in possession of the ball, coming down the right-hand flank, but he's looking for options. Blur is the preferred one on the right-hand side, takes it back from him, cuts it infield here to Mainwaring, square now to Ennis. And again, it's sort of tippy-tappy passing in the final third with no real purpose from Stalybridge. And the long-range effort comes in and is pretty tame and goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, they don't want to be taking desperate shots, speculative efforts from that sort of distance, especially not when they've had the possession they've just had done. They want to be getting across into the box or something from a move like that, and I can understand why the fans are getting a little bit frustrated in the stand around us.
So Tamworth 0, Fylde 2 in the Vanarama Conference North. Fylde still going great guns, and there's been a couple of goals in the Vanarama Conference in the match between Halifax and Wrexham. It was one each, but then Halifax have made an immediate response and gone 2-1 up in that game at the Shea.
Do we know if Nogan and Aspin are playing again?
Guys are just caught offside here.
Doubling the average age of the on-field 11 in the process.
I actually loved watching Neil Aspin come on the play. It just reminded me of the possibilities in life, you know. Made me feel young.
Well, absolutely. He's older than you and still capable of putting a shift in the prestigious West Riding County Cup.
All headed away, and Guiseley have cleared. It's into the feet of Cadman, and Cadman plays it out to McKenna, and McKenna plays a good ball into the area. Probably the best one of this whole second half. Best opportunity Stalybridge really have worked open, I think. The header flicked on by Liam Dickinson goes behind anyway for a goal kick. And the referee has pulled things up here for a second and is having a word with Dickinson, who I think is protesting a little bit too much about what he perceives as being a push in the area. I can't say I've seen anything, have you, Nick?
No, I haven't, and the referee's done the right thing and called his captain over at the same time, and he's obviously explaining to him that it needs to stop or there'll be further action, and I don't think that's bad refereeing, actually. Whether you agree with the referee's decision or not, I always think it's good to give a player a grown-up word with the captain there and say, look, this is where it stops.
Goal kick's taken by Danny Lowe and goes beyond everyone and back to the Stalybridge keeper, Lewis King. Fylde have now got a third against Tamworth. Fylde 3 up now against Tamworth, so struggling Tamworth again after they got that point under the new management of Andy Morell on Saturday against us. We're going to have a substitute as well for Guiseley. There's some action down on the bench. In the meantime, Stalybridge have the ball with Blur, and he's just given it infield here to McKenna. McKenna sends it to the left-hand side of Dickinson, who takes a shot from distance. It was a good drive, actually, from the Stalybridge forward, who firm drive, but it was central and easy for Stephen Drench just to watch and hold on to that, get his body behind the ball. It would have been more of a challenge had it been either side of him, though.
Now, there is activity in the Guiseley bench. For one, Mark Bowers hopping from foot to foot. He's obviously freezing cold like we are tonight. Autumn's hit with a vengeance. But I think also Ollie Johnson's just getting his instructions under the cover of the dugout here from Martin Stringfellow. I wonder who he'll be coming on for.
Jake Lawler steps across, gives it to Adam Boyes. Boyes flips it on towards Brooksby, gets the ball back from Brooksby. Some distance from goal, so Boyes gives it back to Danny Boschel on the edge of the centre circle. Sent forward by Boschel, good one. Finds Boyes, but he's out towards the touchline now on the right-hand side. Lays it back here to Tilson. The cross comes in, up towards the back post. Jake Lawler just arrives a little bit too late to get on the end of that one. And it's gone out to the other side for a throw, and that substitute will happen now.
I think it's, is it Nicky Boschel that's coming up?
It is indeed Nicky Boschel. We couldn't see because the board was the opposite side of us, but Ollie Johnson is going to make his way onto this evening's game. And I have to say, I think Nicky Boschel's had a good game this evening. He's certainly impressed from the off this evening.
Absolutely, and involved in 2 goals, setting up the first one for his brother, that fantastic long-range pile-driving shot, and the original clever pass around the corner that set Ben Parker loose for the Adam Boyes goal. So it's a good night's work for the younger Boschel. I think at the moment Ollie Johnson seems to be playing on the left. I would expect in time there's a fair chance he will come in behind Adam Boyes, and Gavin Rothery might come out to the left, which is more what we've seen in the past.
No change at the moment in his position because Stalybridge are in possession of the ball, so guys, you're not wanting to perhaps swap things round whilst they're on defensive duties. Cadman on the halfway line, gives it to Ennis. In here to McKenna. McKenna surges forward. He's got a bit of space to run into towards the edge of the D. Plays it into Dickinson. Good move. Plays the ball across the penalty area. Unfortunately, from Stalybridge's point of view, there was no one there to capitalise. Guiseley get the ball away. They've had 1 or 2 chances that have been well crafted in the last 5 minutes or so, Stalybridge.
Yeah, they've had a bit more of the game, haven't they? And maybe that's why Mark's made the change now, or perhaps it's unrelated. But certainly, guys, they need to not let too many chances go the way of the home team. Otherwise, it could yet be a nervy end to the game.
Stalybridge with the ball in the halfway line now with McKenna. He's playing a more central role. Gives it to Cadman up towards Dickinson. It's helped away. Picked up again by Celtic. They play the ball forward with Dickinson in possession of the ball. He plays it out to the left flank, and good work from Mike Williams. Twists around one player and plays it infield. Ennis onto Heath, and Heath comes forward looking for options ahead of him. McKenna takes, and Guiseley again just restricting Stalybridge as they pass the ball around. They hold on to possession, but they just don't seem to make any headway in that final third. And Ennis slips. Guiseley recover it with Brooksby. Brooksby comes away with the ball, skips past 2, sprays it out to the left-hand side where Ollie Johnson has a bit of a chase to keep it in touch, but does well. Now he's up against Blur. Ollie Johnson shows a little bit of trickery. Plays the ball infield here to Gavin Rothery. Rothery skips past 1, blasts the ball against the defender. It's gone behind for a corner. And that was some good work from Brooksby, good work from Ollie Johnson, and a good effort from Gavin Rothery.
Yeah, it was a nice move. I think the defender there will probably not be so desperate to let Ollie Johnson get in onto his right foot and try and show him outside next time. Maybe he doesn't know him well enough to know that he's a predominantly right-footed player, and he was always likely to cut back there. But it was a really nice feint to get himself a few yards away. Leads to the corner, but Danny Ellis hasn't gone forward for it. So Guiseley not committing tall players into the box at this stage.
The corner actually goes short to Danny Boschel. Boschel finds Gavin Rothery and then gets the ball back, distributes it into the area. This time it's cut out. It's going to be another Stalybridge Celtic substitute surely, but they're on the counter-attack at the moment. It's back with Heath and it stops going forward for the home side, and Gavin Rothery actually gets a half interception in there, but Stalybridge keep hold of the ball. Move it up patiently to the halfway line, looking for an opportunity to get the ball away down this right-hand side, and they do so with Blur, but this time he's cut out well by Danny Lowe with excellent positioning from the Guiseley centre-half. Danny Boschel overcomplicates the little flick towards Gavin Rothery, and Celtic pick up the possession again here. Ennis, 20 yards from goal, takes a shot, but it's away from goal and behind for a goal kick. And that final change can happen, and it's going to be Sam Staunton-Turner, and he's going to replace Paul Ennis, who I think has dropped out of the game somewhat. Was certainly very influential for the home side in the first half.
Yeah, I agree. Not seen masses of him since half time, have we? And I think it probably makes a sense. He's worked very hard. It makes sense to change him as much as anybody else. It's the last roll of the dice for the Stalybridge coach, but I'm still looking at this thing of Danny Lowe taking Stephen Drench's goal kicks. I hope after the game we hear that he's fine and it's just something they're managing out on the pitch rather than taking a risk by keeping him out there. I'm sure that will be the case, actually.
I'll ask the question. Staunton-Turner gets his first touch anyway for Stalybridge, come down the right-hand side. Goes towards the touchline, 3 players up against him. Manages to find a space between them to pass the ball into the penalty area, but it's cut out nonetheless. And then Stalybridge can't hold on to the ball, and Guiseley have a throw-in in their left-back position. So this game ticks down. Sorry, Nick.
No, I was just going to say the shuffle around has happened a little bit. At the moment, Wayne Brooksby's actually come over to the left and Ollie Johnson's on the right. Gavin Rothery's stayed in the hole in behind Boys and ahead of the midfield.
Ball here with McKenna, who certainly played an influential role for Celtic this evening. He plays the ball infield towards Mainwaring. His ball up towards Dickinson, comes back once again. Guiseley now trying to defend. Good tackle comes in from Danny Lowe on the back of Dickinson, just to snatch the ball away from him. Guiseley up to the halfway line with Adam Boys, trying to thread the ball through to Wayne Brooksby. Doesn't work on this occasion. Substitute Cadman, who has been all over the pitch since he came on at half-time, takes possession for Stalybridge and gives it out here to Mainwaring, out to the left-hand side. Mainwaring plays a nice 1-2 down the left flank, but it doesn't quite come off. Guiseley can intercept and send it away. .76 minutes gone. The Lions leading by 3-0. In good control. Not really looking too threatened in this game.
I suppose one man's seeing a game out safely is another's the game fizzling out, and at the moment it's there's not too much excitement out there on the pitch, but we've certainly got nothing to complain about.
I'm not complaining. Can fizzle away for me.
Yeah, just feel sorry for the half dozen or so people who will still be listening to us by the end.
They're not listening. Stalybridge have made a good run down the right-hand side. It's the substitute Staunton-Turner who's managed to work out a corner actually for the home side, just down in the right-hand side. It's a chance now for them to distribute this ball. If they could get a goal now, it would certainly ask some questions in this last 15 minutes or so. Ball goes in towards the back post, headed away by Jake Lawler. It's another corner now for Stalybridge.
Just while the second corner's happening, Danny Forrest is getting his final instructions. He's obviously finished a warm-up, he's getting ready to come on.
Could see Rothery going off actually.
He's put in another heavy shift, hasn't he? And
yeah,
it would free Ollie Johnson up to play in behind Adam Boys as well.
Ball comes in here towards the penalty spot. It's a good one. They can't clear Guiseley. They eventually do get a touch on the ball, but only to the edge of the penalty area. Picked up by McKenna. McKenna gets a cross in. It's a good one again, but well held by Stephen Drench. He watched that well and was in the right place just to pluck the ball out of the air. Danny Forrest just down by the touchline. No sign of the change happening imminently, it has to be said, but Gavin Rothery battling for the ball, wins it in midfield, gives it out here to Ollie Johnson. A little bit of trickery from Johnson, skips the ball past to Blur, but Blur reacts quickly, plays the ball back, and Boys anticipates it brilliantly. Plays it into the feet of Boschel. Boschel drives it, this time with the right foot. Well held by the goalkeeper because it was straight at him. in fairness, but good anticipation from boys after good trickery from Ollie Johnson.
Yeah, and a collector's item that, I think. Danny Boschel, 2 shots in 1 game. So, stats fans have a bit of that.
Hinsford 0, Colwyn Bay 2. That's a good result for Frank Sinclair's side. Now Stalybridge come forward here with McKenna. He plays the ball into the area. It goes across the back line. Heath works well to try and win it back off Ben Parker, but just can't do enough to keep it in touch, and it goes behind for a goal kick, and it'll go out to give the chance for the substitute to take place. It is Danny Forrest, and the man coming off actually is Adam Boys.
Well, that's a little bit unexpected, but he's worked ever so hard again, as he always does tonight. He's a real defending from the front sort of striker, as well as the goals he gets. He never stops working and making those sliding challenges that are always so well timed. So fair enough, a routine 3 points, presumably more or less in the bag, and an opportunity for Danny Forrest to come on and play as an out-and-out striker.
I think got to remember Adam Boys is the only player on a yellow card as well.
Yeah.
So that might be another reason for the precaution. And let's face it, we frankly can't risk any more front men getting knocks, can we, at the moment?
We can't risk Adam Boys getting any knocks, realistically.
Put him in his cotton wool. Guys, he just conceded a throw, actually, for Stalybridge to have an opportunity to come forward again. Cadman, actually, rather unconventionally, blasts it backwards. It's controlled by Regan. Regan sends it forward, but it's easy for Jake Lawler to cut out. Danny Forrest will get his first touch. Takes it down, plays it infield to Gavin Rothery. Gets it back from Rothery. On the right-hand side, Ollie Johnson, the only man ahead of him. The ball goes up towards Ollie Johnson, but it's intercepted before it arrives in his territory. And Stalybridge now come away with it up to the halfway line, where Cadman takes over and plays it square here before receiving the ball back to McKenna, and again it just holds up, doesn't it, for Stalybridge?
It does, and I think we're about to see a final change for Guiseley as well. I think Andy Holdsworth's coming on too, presumably for Ryan Tull. Somebody could be for one of the holding midfielders. In fact, could be Danny Boschel as well. Just keep something in his legs for the weekend.
I'd put money on it being Danny Boschel, actually. It seems to be the technique, doesn't it, if we're comfortable in the game. Free kick's just been given against Danny Forrest. Slides in for the tackle and slightly clips the Stalybridge man. And that gives a chance for the substitute to happen. And it's Andy Holdsworth who's coming on, and Danny Boschel who's coming off.
That's a perfectly good call there, Colin. Well done.
It's not bad for me, is it? Thanks to those tweets we've had tonight. Just one from Dave Kendra.
Oh, yeah.
Tuning in. And of course, he says, tuning in too late to hear any of the goals. Don't grumble. 3-0 up.
In time to hear your gloves coming on and off every time you have to unlock your phone.
The quality of the audio content.
Whereas I've done the professional thing and not have gloves. So I'm freezing for the cause tonight. Not the pop band, the cause.
Please stop.
I really haven't started.
You're not missing anything. Guys, he's now just picked up the ball here with Ollie Johnson on the halfway line. Goes back here to Andy Holdsworth, who takes over his position in central midfield. Flicked forward by Toulson, finds Danny Forrest, who takes it down on his chest, plays it infield to Holdsworth. Played square here for Lowe to help it out to Ben Parker. Parker instinctively plays it forward towards Danny Forrest, and it's easy for Stalybridge to cut out, and they come back down the other side with the final substitute for them, which is Staunton Turner, to only be tackled brilliantly by Danny Lowe. He's had a brilliant game this evening as well, Lowe. Guys, you get it up to the halfway line, and Danny Forrest gives it to Parker, and then Parker plays it forward, looking for Ollie Johnson just to run past his man and maybe just cut in, but Johnson's not quite on the same wavelength that time. Dickinson's clearly pulled down Danny Lowe, and for some reason Danny Lowe's been pulled back here, and he's going to get in the book. I'm not quite sure I agree with the reading of our colleagues in the stand here.
I don't see that at all. I mean, he's had Danilo in a headlock there.
It's a yellow card for Danilo and a free kick to Stalybridge Celtic. And Danilo's pointing that I'm the man who got pulled, and
well, I
think he's got a bit of a claim there.
He got scragged, didn't he? I mean, he's had his shirt pulled and then he's had his head taken and wrestled down to the ground. I mean,
free kick anyway to Stalybridge.
Not that I'm seeing things black and white tonight suddenly or anything, but
Stalybridge have got players forward. They've got about 5 up on the edge of the 18-yard box. Guys, everyone back except for Danny Forrest. This ball comes in. The substitute delivers it well. Staunton Turner headed away though, and only as far as Heath, and he can return this one towards the edge of the 18-yard box. It's Reagan who takes a shot. I thought it might have taken a deflection actually, but it hasn't. He's just hit it high and wide and behind for a goal kick.
Danny Lowe's still having words with the referee about that, to the extent that he's forgotten he's supposed to be going and taking his goal kick. Actually, he's just realised now. Drench is doing kick-ups there in the 6-yard box. I'm interested to hear exactly what the condition is that's being managed here.
Who knows? Maybe Danilo just fancies a spell taking goal kicks. Who knows? The clearance has been made anyway. It's returned forcefully by Reagan, and it's going to be collected again by Stephen Drench. This game really is sort of fizzling out as a spectacle, but quite happy with that because Guiseley have been in control, been commanding really in terms of possession, in terms of taking the chances. And when they've had the ball, they've kept Stalybridge at bay. And when they haven't had the ball, they've kept a really good shape and prevented the home side from creating many clear-cut chances. This one, though, is a good ball out to the left flank. Cut out again, though, well by Ben Parker. Ollie Johnson just threads the ball through towards Gavin Rothery. It just doesn't fall quite well enough for the Guiseley midfielder to take down. Stalybridge come away with it with Staunton Turner having a good run at this Guiseley back line. Gets past 2 players before Danny Ellis gets a firm challenge in to clear. Ollie Johnson completes the clearance, but only as far as Mainwaring. Guys, eventually come away with it. Jake Lawler and Andy Holdsworth combine to regain possession, but the ball forward is recovered by Staunton Turner. And Stalybridge send another one long up towards Dickinson. He nods it down well here for Heath. Heath gets it into the area. Cadman runs away from goal. He's got options outside of him in Blur, but it's a poor touch between Blur and Cadman, and Danny Ellis can intercept and clear. Picked up again here by Stalybridge, and they send a long one forward by Matty Hughes. Cut out well, now picked up here by Wayne Brooksby, who comes over the halfway line. He's got 2 ahead of him, keeps running himself. He's got 2 players now closing him down. So he goes out towards the touchline, just trying to slow things up. Gives it back to Gavin Rothery. Rothery back here to Parker. Parker, square to Jake Lawler. Lawler just nods it back on, or touches it back on to the right-hand side where Toulson plays it forward, and that move breaks down, and Stalybridge again come away with the ball, but it's another wayward pass forward. And guys who recover possession with Jake Lawler, giving it to Danny Forrest. There's some space on this left-hand side if they can play Wayne Brooksby in. Ben Parker's actually got the ball, he's more infield. Parker cuts infield, plays it to the right-hand side where Holdsworth has got it. Little flick from Holdsworth into Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson into the area, down by the touchline. Poor execution from Johnson, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was an all right sort of passing move, but not coming to anything with the final product this time. And the sounds of the Guiseley fans behind the goal, they're pretty happy with the night they've had out, and I suspect Mark Bauer is as well. That's why we're sort of seeing it meander towards a conclusion at the moment.
3 minutes of normal time left, with Guiseley leading by 3-0. Stalybridge still attempting to craft out an opportunity. Maybe grab a goal. A consolation, surely, no more than that at this stage of the game, but you never can tell. King sends it out wide. Gives it to Staunton Turner. It goes back. Late goal in the Vanarama Conference. Not such a good evening for Halifax. They were 2-1 up and 1-0 and 2-1 up, but it's now Halifax 2, Wrexham 2. Parker with the throw. Gives it to Lowe. Lowe collects and sends it long, and Guiseley in possession for a brief spell before Stalybridge nod it out into touch. And Daniel Lowe gives the ball back to Stephen Drench, who is forced to clear with his feet, gives it to Danny Ellis. Ellis is closed down, almost slips, but holds on to his footing enough to give the ball to Ryan Tilson, and Guiseley come away with it with some attacking intent, but the quick exchange of passes doesn't allow Gavin Rothery to get on the end of the final ball, and it's cut out and played into touch. Bounces off a Guiseley man for a Stalybridge throw. In fact, I think there was a free kick actually, as it was taking that deflection for a handball. It's played long and aimless again. The flick on, very comfortable for Guiseley to defend.
Well, there's a bit of activity on the Twitter, some nice feedback from Stephen Besford. Thanks for listening. And Keith Walker's questioning our gloves conversation. He says he only put a t-shirt on 10 minutes ago, so never mind gloves. I don't want to know the backstory.
I hope he's referring to the fact he's in a warm country.
I think he's in a different time zone to us. I think that's, if I remember rightly.
And the plug is pulled.
Excellent.
Guys,
who's going to pull us off the air? It's our own thing that we just do.
Good ball here from Andy Holdsworth. He's just given the ball here to Wayne Brooksby. Takes a run into the area. He's gone to ground. I think it was a coming together of the defender and the Guiseley man. No question of penalty. Referee waves that away. Goes through to the goalkeeper. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be added. And Cadman comes forward for Stalybridge Celtic as they look to get something out of this game. It takes a deflection off Andy Holdsworth. I don't think the referee can stop Stephen Drench from picking that one up. It was certainly not an intentional back pass, but Drench just checks with the official, who is very clear on the matter and allows him to collect the ball.
Maybe the ref's getting paid by the hour, but I don't think we need 3 minutes of stoppages. We're all freezing cold. The game's over. Come on, wrap it up.
Anything can happen in football, Nick. Remember, we've got to hype it up to the end.
to bring in the advertising dollar.
Got to monetise his last 3 minutes. The ball forward from...
Should we start with some dead air like that then?
It's the best quality we've produced all night.
Sparkling.
Well, I don't know what to say really. We've had a minute of stoppages. It's still 3-0. Guys in good control. And Heath in possession of the ball for Stalybridge. Looks ahead of him. He's closed down. Almost intercepted by Wayne Brooksby actually on the halfway line. Finds its way through to Staunton Turner. He gives it to Mainwaring. Stalybridge still with the ball with McKenna. And he plays an exchange of passes with Matt Reagan, the captain, who plays a long one forward. A bit of a swipe at the ball by Lowe, and he loses it. And then a great shot from distance. Goes into the back of the net, and it's the substitute Staunton Turner. It was perhaps, guys, his first real mistake of the evening. And a slip from Danny Lowe allowed the opportunity in, and with 90 minutes and 2 minutes of stoppage time played, it's now Stalybridge Celtic 1, Guiseley 3.
Well, I apologise for questioning the stoppage time. That's a really, really frustrating way to end the evening and lose the clean sheet. It was a complete miscue by Danny Lowe, who swung his leg through for a routine clearance and completely missed the ball. I can't imagine what must have happened for him to completely miss the ball altogether. He's apologised to his teammates, and that led to a goal that just takes the gloss off a little bit. It doesn't take anything off the performance that was dominating in the first half, I think, and closed out with the extra goal after half-time quite well, even with a change in system by Stalybridge, who were trying to work their way back in and take some midfield possession at the time. So whilst it's a little bit frustrating as I say, to have conceded that consolation goal so late on in the game, I think it's a good night's work still done by the Lions. And they've got every reason to look forward to Hales Owen on Saturday now.
And Hales Owen, who've actually just grabbed a late equaliser against Kings Lynn. So they'll be pleased to have got a point out of that league game before the cup tie. It'll be an interesting one on Saturday. Stalybridge in possession of the ball still as we play on in this Panorama Conference North match. Guiseley lead by 3-1, but that late goal has given them a spring in their step for the home side, and they look to see if they can press and surprise us again, with Staunton Turner getting a good delivery into the area, headed away, but only as far as Mainwaring. He's on the edge of the penalty area, now going down towards the touchline, gets the cross, it's blocked, but at the expense of a corner.
Have I wrapped this game up far too soon? Are we about to concede a second here, right in the last minute of the game?
Well, perhaps so, because they have this corner. And by my reckoning, there must be the 4th minute stoppages.
I thought it would have been over by now.
The corner will come in. Surely not much more than this. It's distributed up towards the edge of the penalty area, knocked down, and a bit of hestation in the Guiseley defence before Stephen Drench collects. And then the final whistle goes, and a good night's work for the Lions. 3-1 victors here at Bowerfold over Stalybridge Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most you can hope for on the road is you go away and you get plenty of possession and you take your chances when you get them. It looks like guys, they have 1 or 2 knocks to manage. Danny Boschel's obviously had some ice on his left shin by the looks of it, since he's come off a few minutes before the end of the game. Perhaps knocks to Stephen Drench and Adam Boys to be asked about in the interview afterwards for you as well, Colin. But basically, all in all, you come away and you take your chances, you build yourself a 3-goal lead, and you have a fairly routine victory to close out. It's exactly what Guiseley have done tonight, and they can be happy with their work.
Quick rundown of the final scores in the Panorama Conference. Halifax 2, Wrexham 2. Just the games that we've been watching tonight. Conference North, Panorama Conference North, Harrogate 0, Gainsborough 0, Hensford 0, Colwyn Bay 2, Lowestoft Brackley. We haven't got a goal or result from that game. North Ferriby 3, Leamington 1, Oxford City 2, Stockport County 1. Stockport down to 10 men in that game. Stalybridge 1, Guiseley 3 tonight here, and Tamworth 0, Fylde 3. Looking ominous with the way that Fylde are playing at the moment. Hales Owen 1, Kings Lynn 1 in the game we were watching in the Northern Premier League, because it is Hales Owen who are up next at Nethermore on Saturday. The FA Cup 3rd round qualifying will be there. Hopefully you will too. But if not, you can join us live commentary here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Thanks for listening, and we're delighted to have brought you the results. We'll see you again on Saturday.